Voice of the Nation. You're with me, Nina Nirashamalisaklami. And as the world moves toward clean energy and sustainability, there is no doubt that in the future, even in the near future, many organizations will develop infrastructure that supports these demands, makes life more convenient and affordable while contributing to clean energy. And today we are going to talk to one such organization called Delta Electronics Thailand, a provider of power and thermal management solutions in areas like power electronics, automations, and infrastructure. Delta is moving towards green development, working on several projects, and one of which is developing more charging stations to support more electric cars that will surely dominate in the future. Okay, so please welcome Mr. Jackie Chang, the president of Delta Electronics Thailand. สวัสดีค่ะ
Howdy, Club.
How are you today?
Fine. Actually, I just recovered from COVID yesterday.
Oh, what is good? I mean, how was the conditions? Is it minor?
I would say it's still classified as a minor, but I'm recovering almost 100%. Yeah,
Strong.
and happy to have the opportunity to join this online interview. Thank you.
Thank you, and welcome to Voice of the Nation. So first, could you please tell us about Delta and what do you do and what are your products?
Okay. Delta Electronics, as a group, we actually focus on the three major business category. The first is what we so-called power electronics, and then we have the infrastructure and also automation. And the power electronics actually consists quite a lot of area, including the automotive products, like nowadays very popular for the EVs, and product for the data center, and the product for the networking, and also components even in your phones and tablets, etc. And then we also have the infrastructure. What infrastructure categorized into two. One is ICT infrastructure. That means it's mainly for the data center application and the solution. And one is for the what we so-called energy infrastructure. And this is mainly for the renewable energy, energy storage, and the most popular EV charging station, etc. And then on the automation side of it, we have the building automation, and basically it's mainly to help and manage the solution for the buildings and also for the different management on the energy in the building. And then we have the automation for the industrial. This is supporting the Thailand 4.0 for the industrial automation, smart manufacturing, etc. So these are the majority of the business category in Delta Electronics.
So meaning you serving a lot of companies basically.
Correct. Yeah. Basically, all the big players in the world, you name it, we are probably behind the scenes to work with them together.
And most of the companies are actually working on themselves to go towards the green energy, sustainability.
Yes. I think the Delta do it the same. Yeah.
Yeah. Then what, according to you, is the significance of sustainability to your business and to other business as well?
Yeah, I think sustainability is the absolute essential to our growth strategy. And we are continuously developing solutions and align with the Thailand 4.0 development and the global mega trends. And this is including the renewable energies, the EV chargings, and the energy management solutions for the green factories, and also the data center power and the building automation for smart cities. So the green operations make us competitive and in the global market as more and more countries are moved toward to a low carbon society. And we also committed to do the RE100, which is 100% renewable energy throughout our entire global operation by 2030. And in the meantime, in the 2021, I think our revenue consolidated is about 27% is from the green product and solutions. So we help our customers save, I would say, more than 1,200 a million kilowatt hours of the electricity from our green product sold from 2016 to 2021, which is equal to about close to 2,000 million tons of the carbon emission reduction.
Hmm.
So, of course, in the meantime, in Thailand, we are also investing heavily in expanding our EV parts manufacturing to support our global customers and the country's ambition to become a next generation automotive production hub for the region. So we are building a new plant and R&D center next to our head office, and to expand our capacity and to provide more employment and the development opportunities in Thailand.
Hmm. So, as you mentioned about Thailand being the hub of the electronics, do you see Thailand as a hub for the export as well? And what potential does, apart from this area, what potential does Thailand have?
Mm, I think it's for Delta Electronics in Thailand, we've been actually established quite a long time ago, more than 30 years. So, in fact, we are quite happy to get quite a lot of support and feel
Mm,
fortunate to have such good support from the BOI, especially, and also IEAT. And
mm,
over the years, the Thai government also quite encouraging and supporting for our operations, and that help us continuously investing more in terms of the buildings and the facility and the talents. So besides the incentive and the benefit for sure, we've been receiving support from the government in developing the local supply chain and
mm,
also Industrial 4.0 talents. And Thailand, I think, is to have a quite good quantity of the quality suppliers, which is make us working with the strengths is our local supply chain. And as it is the important part to ensure the stable and also the timely delivery to our global customers. And I think it's the recently about the global supply chain issue, it even make us speed up of our process to get more local supply chain established and support them and the growth together with Delta. And in the meantime, we are also investing in developing the world-class automation training in the Thai universities and foster more engineering talent, not just for Delta, but also for the country.
Thai
So I
university,
think it's,
like
yeah.
a specific universities.
Actually, we've been working with quite some good university like Kim On-gu and the
Kimongo.
Chulalongkorn,
Mhm,
Mahidol, and the Burapha
mm,
University in EEC, and also Kasensa University. We've been working with many university. We also have the Delta Academies and setting up
mm.
in some of the program, and also we help the university to set up some of the testing lab that make sure the student they could learn the next generation automations for the manufacturing as well. So I think it's the Thailand as a hub. I think it's just actually uh, we 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 think is the government support is important, but in the meantime, we are also try to helping and developing more talents for this country, because it's the incentive is one thing, but for the people development is more than
It's
on the
another.
long term. Yeah. So I think it's we are classify ourselves as a Thai company now after being so many years in Thailand. Yeah. So this part of the sustainability and also the overall development on the Thailand as a regional hub, I think is we have quite great confidence about that. Yeah.
Well, what about the support from private sector or any collaborations between Delta and the private sector?
Uh, yes, actually, we've been doing quite a lot of solutions in Thailand, as what I mentioned, especially like the ICT infrastructure and also the energy infrastructure, and also the automations, no matter it's on the smart manufacturing or no matter on the building automation. And these are all require quite a lot of support from our local partners and the friends. And I believe that they are doing quite a good job, and those enterprises is quite successfully and working with Delta in that sense. And I believe that you're probably aware that recently we just signed up the MOU with the PTT, and also previously we also signed the MOU with SCG. And I think it's the PTT in terms of the supporting in terms of the EV infrastructures and the development, and I think they would be a very good help and the boost. And they are also considering to developing on the renewable energies and to make it even more sustainable for the whole country. And I think that's also would be very helpful. And SCG, I think everybody know SCG as well for sure. And they've been doing quite a lot, no matter on the household, on the building material, and also in some of the chemistry. So we are collaborate quite a lot in terms of the developing the solution, not only for their manufacturing, but also for the consumers in the household. And of course, as we've been co-working with the Thai government and the regulations to try to define for the next possible EV charging infrastructures and the development.
Right.
So many area working with the government officials like E-Gate or PEA, MEA, etc. And I think these are all helping us for quite successfully in Thailand.
Mhm. Well, when talking about these projects, the closest one that most of the people would think about is the electric cars, electric vehicles
Mm.
that is a trend right now, and of course they will dominate in the future. So when talking about these electric vehicles, how will Delta contribute to the EV development in Thailand?
Okay. I think it's the Thailand is an automotive and the EV leader in the Southeast Asia, and the country
Okay.
is determined to be
Mm,
the next generation automotive hub as well. And I think the Thai government is also targeting to have the 15 million electrical vehicle by 2035.
yes.
So as a key global EV power manufacturers, we will support our automotive customers who are major global car manufacturers as they shift from the traditional ICE models to the EVs. And Delta Thailand has been actively participating in the setting the EV charging standards in Thailand, and with related government agency and also industrial associates, even before EV demand started to see the significant growth. And this
Mm,
year, I think Thai government also approved a package of incentive for 2022 to 2025 and offer cars owner with the subsidized per EV and also reduce the tax. So I think Delta is also having the opportunities is to installing more and more EV charging stations, no matter it's the AC for the home charge or for the DC for the quick charge to support the EV driver in Thailand. And
mhm,
I think as we do see the significant growth in our EV charging stations over these 2 years, and I believe that this momentum will continue as well, and we should continue to bring in the latest model and the EV charging technologies into Thailand to meet the
mm.
growth demand and to set the industrial standards for sure.
Mm. But apart from this, are there any other key challenges that you see in developing for the EV development in the future? For example, like as you mentioned, to have to increase the number of the EV stations, but also to make them very efficient, fast, and maybe affordable.
Mm, I think it's the if you see in the recent uh, Kinseri Bank survey, they report in the nations as the three biggest reasons for the buying EV among existing EV owners are it's about 81% is lower running cost, and 73% is reducing environmental impact, and the 59% is the technological appeal. And however, for the non-EV owners, the most common given reason for not buying an EV are related for the chargings, like the limited number of the charging stations and slower charging speed and the high purchase price of the EVs and compared to the conventional vehicles. So uh, during the many years I spent in Europe before, I have seen the government incentive to encourage the drivers and to buy the EV is a big factor to the adaptations. And of course, we need a lot of the more EV charging stations, uh, and then that could be more convenient for them at home or on the road. And this is
Mm.
the with the mix of the good AC charging stations and also uh, in the condos at home, and then also the DC charging stations toward to the normal standard road or highways or gas stations. And I think it's the to really to make it more fully coverage on that side of it. And I think it's the still have some time to go. And
Mm.
I think as Delta is trying our best to help in all the different public and private sectors and to make sure these will be rolled out much faster. So the buyers then when they purchase the EV cars and they don't need to worry about where could I charge. Maybe they're running out of the battery just like running out of the gas, and that would be a disaster.
Mm. It's true. Apart from the EV, what are your future development plans?
Well, future development plans, that there's quite a lot of things. I think it's the in previously, uh, basically, we've been talking about the Delta's business category. You have not only on the EV side of it, you also have the infrastructures. And this infrastructure actually is also quite importantly related to our future. Let me quickly brief you about this part of it. For example, the ICT infrastructure, the next generation for the 5G telecommunication is actually very important. If we want to have our car to be driving without too much assistance or too much human resources to drive the car, what we so-called autonomous driving, the 5G is a must. So Delta is actually very actively engaged on the providing the power solution for the telecommunication sector for the next infrastructure 5G. And another one is what we so-called the uh, data center side of it. The data center is also uh, very much important and essentially needed from the global market point of view because it's more and more people working from home or having the meeting on the distance or remotely, and those data center information is become much more essential. And the Delta is we are also on this area and helping quite a lot to our global data center customers. And of course, as we're talking about when it's linked to the EV side of it, the renewable energies and also the energy storage is also important. If you're thinking about to having one car, one EV car charging, maybe it's not a big deal. But when you have 100,000 of the EV car charging in the same time, then it impacts to the grid quite a lot. So
Mm.
Delta is also working on the renewable energy and the energy storage to make sure we have much better grid stability and to help the uh, grid connections and also the energy management much better. So these
Mhm.
are also very important future plan for us, and we are currently working on. And of course, it's the automation side of it. No matter smart manufacturing or building automation, make sure you stay in the household, in the building, you have a clean air. Air quality is good one, and I think these are also very important. And Delta is working on all the solutions with our partner together in Thailand as well.
Mhm. And since you're continuously contributing towards the greener society or cleaner society, what society do you see in the future?
Uh, I'm always a believer of the technology, and I always think is the technology could always bring our life better.
Mm.
Thinking about maybe almost uh, 28 years ago when I was first landed in Europe. At that moment, no internet, and I need to make a very costly phone call with my girlfriend, or now it's my wife, and through a long distance phone calls. And now thinking about it, we could see each other no matter where am I, and then we don't need to worry too much things. We could remotely check in your household through the internet connections, and to make sure everything is okay and safe. Even check your pet if they are behave well or not, and things like that. And technology is actually helping quite a lot of improvement for our daily life. And
Mm.
from my point of view, uh, Delta could really actually bring a lot of technologies and helping for the whole society to become more sustainable. And I truly believe is with more collaboration in the multi dimensions with our partners and also customers, and we could make the society better and also much more happier in that sense. And
Mm.
uh, from our point of view, this is the sustainability is always one of the key things. We're not only looking into ourselves to making the profit, we are also thinking to contribute and to helping the society as well in the time.
Well, of course, obviously, that technology play a key importance role in our life in our society, but also it depends on how to use technology to contribute to a better world, basically.
Sure.
But but for today, thank you very much, Mr. Jackie Chan. Thank you for joining
Thank
our
you.
program. I hope to see you
Thank
again.
you.
And that's it for Voice of the Nations. Today, you're with me, Nina Nirashamalisaklami. Stay tuned with us from Monday to Friday from 8 to 8:30 p.m. You can also rewatch or check out our website, nationthailand.com, or our Facebook fan page, Nation Thailand. For today, สวัสดีค่ะ